I wanted to give you a little bit of an extra help with uh, times when. So, if you haven't seen it yet, I have a video about melting emotion and connecting with whatever it is that you're feeling and like letting that melt away. And occasionally, I have found that it will be incredibly stubborn and there will be something in me that is not ready to let it go. So, what I have recognized is that there was something else that I could bring in to kind of bridge the space that could still help me shift into a better personal space and ultimately actually helps to finish relieving and releasing the emotion that I'm struggling with. And so um, there have been different things. There's been depression, like, which is really interesting because, like, as I've experienced it, there's an energy of depression that is not sadness. It's different. It's very unique in its feeling that I've when I've felt it and tuned into it. Sadness is actually one that has been very easy to just let process and release itself. But depression, anxiety, anger, like has been one, like stubbornness. Just there are certain emotions that I have recognized in me that are a little bit more challenging. And so what I do is I feel that out as far as it's going to go. And when I recognize that it's like, so it like I'm feeling it up here. And as I'm connecting with it and allowing it to be felt, and I'm breathing through it, and that level starts coming down and it continues to come down, and I'll sit with it and sit with it and sit with it. And then it just stalls out instead of finishing and bottoming out. And just like I can feel that, that release, it'll stall out. Like it'll definitely be less than what it was, but it stalls out. And when I'm recognizing that it's stalled out, what I will do is I will make a choice. I will start using the I choose affirmations. I choose, and then it just depends on what that emotion is that I'm dealing with. And so a lot of times I'll actually just go to joy. Joy and peace are two of my biggest ones. Calm. It just depends on what it is that I'm seeking for. Like, what is it that I would like to be feeling? And so that levels out and it stalls. And so at that point, I'll start taking deep breaths and I will start saying to myself, I choose joy, or I choose happiness, or I choose calm, or I choose peace. And sometimes I'll do all of them and I'll say them over and over and over, and I'll still pay attention to what it is that I'm feeling. And then it will, like, it's almost like there's this little, like, it's not a release. It's almost like getting over a hump kind of a thing, where it's like, okay, whatever that stubbornness was, I can sense that it releases and it just like kind of like that. And so I would encourage you to give that a try. If you're finding that you are like getting to like this plateau instead of a final release, try utilizing your agency, because that's really what it is. You are an agent unto yourself. You are sovereign. You have the ability to make choices for yourself. The goal is to be the master of yourself, to be the master of your emotions, to be the masters of your thought, to be the master of your life, and to be the one that is acting upon creation and acting out of your choices instead of being acted upon. When you're acted upon, you're a servant, you're a slave. And that is not where you are desiring to be. You're desiring to be the master of your life, a sovereign soul, a sovereign being. And so that is one area where you would be intentionally stepping into, okay, I'm recognizing, and I'm not going to fight this stall, and I'm not going to sit there and like force it to leave, but it's a reminding the inner place that is being stuck. It's like, you know what, this is my choice. This is what I choose. And you're still directing that inward with love and compassion for yourself, with patience. And it's, whenever I've done that, it's never about forcing it to let go. It really isn't. And that's the funny thing that I've noticed, is that when I've done that, like, it used to be that I would just do it and I would be like, okay, you know what? This isn't going to finish releasing. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to force it, but I am going to choose something else. And I would just do it. And then I would go out and about my business, and I would just notice, it's like, you know what? I'm still feeling better. There is nothing wrong with still feeling better, even if it's not where I was hoping to get. It's still an improvement. And I embrace that improvement. I welcome it. But then I noticed that if I sat with it longer, like, there was just one day where I was about to get up and go, and I just had a feeling, it's like, no, stay in this, do it a little bit longer. And so I would just, instead of doing it 1 or 2 times, I just stayed with it and stayed with it and stayed with it. And then I felt that shift into what it was that I was desiring. You have choice. You can choose. And it doesn't mean, here's the thing, when you are sitting with yourself and you are making that choice, this is not about positive thinking. This is, even if I am feeling this anxiety, even if I continue to feel it all week, I'm not making agreements with it, but I'm also letting it be. But my choice is fill in the blank, right? So even if it ends up not matching, it's like you're making a heartfelt choice of, this is my choice. This is my desire. You're acknowledging it instead of being a victim and stuck in the anxiety or the depression or the anger or the, I have no control over my life, because you do. You have control over this, but it takes time and it takes practice, and you got to start small. So some of those things can be, go through the mindfulness series that I've put together and just get a handle on your thinking. Go through and just start noticing, what am I feeling in my body? You have to survey your environment and surroundings. And when I say that, I'm not even necessarily talking about your house, your environment of the yard, your community. I'm talking about right here within, like, your space where, the air is touching your body, and inside, taking evaluation of that, because that is where your control is. Your control is within the space right here. It's like within your, basically like 3 square feet of you, front, back, whatever. That is where all of your control is. And anything outside of that is somebody else's business, God's business. Like, it's not your place unless you're feeling impressed to engage with that. And even then, it's not fully in your control. You can participate in something to a degree, but you have no control on the outcome, especially when it has something to do with other people that are involved. So there you go. That's something else that you can try.